everyone. I'm Nicole Boone. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. This episode of Conversations with Nicole discusses mental health and asking for help when you need it. Today's story is about Warren Stone. He is my guest. He is in Conway, South Carolina, and he is the owner of Phoenix Paint and Furniture in Conway, South Carolina. He's a former firefighter. He's been on The Voice. He's done a lot in his life, and today he's sharing his story with us. Warren, good to see you.
Hey, Nicole, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm delighted to have you on my show today. You shared with me, you thought it was important to talk about mental health, and it starts with your background. But first, before we get to that, talking about mental health, I want you to share with the viewers that you were on The Voice.
Yeah.
Season 4. You were Team Adam.
Team
right?
Adam. Yep. Team Adam.
I love that. So you are a musician, you're a singer. Tell me a little bit about The Voice.
It was fun. It was a time in my life to where I just got connected with the right people at the right time and auditioned and made it from, it was like, I think 20-something thousand people. And I ended up being in the top 16. So, I mean, it's a big feat, or I felt it was.
Sure, it is. And that was in 2013, right?
Yes. Yep.
So at that time you were a firefighter, so you became the singing firefighter, correct?
Yeah, I was singing fireman.
What did you sing on The Voice?
The first song I did was Colder Weather by Zach Brown. And then the last song, the third song was I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight, because I'm an 80s baby. So.
And how does that song go? Remind us.
I just died in your arms tonight. It must have been something you said. Just died in your arms tonight.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm an 80s girl, so I knew that song immediately. Well, I thought that would be a fun way to start our conversation today.
That definitely broke the ice.
Yes, of course. So we're talking today because you have a unique story, one that was filled with really cool adventures, like being on The Voice. Grew up in Florence County, South Carolina. You became a firefighter there. Tell me about your journey as a firefighter and how it led to some different things in your life that you did not expect.
Yeah, so I guess it was 97. Before I graduated high school, I was like a junior fireman with Hannah Salem. And 99, I got certified as a firefighter. They say once it's in your blood, it's always in your blood. It was adrenaline rush, but then you get to help people and you get to hang out with your buddies. And while I did the volunteer stuff, I mostly played music, Florence County, East Coast and stuff, with a couple bands. And I guess it was 09. I started a full-time career in Florence with Windy Hill and just absolutely loved the department, loved the job. And then I had the opportunity to do The Voice in 13 and went for that. And whenever I came back, tried the whole Nashville thing and did that for a few years and came back to South Carolina, and I just could not get the fire service out of my system and went back to Windy Hill and then ended my career with the city of Conway.
So there's a reason why you ended your career. You loved serving, helping, but there were struggles, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Talk about the struggles.
Yeah, so, with it being Mental Health Awareness Month and all, you see a lot in that job, but it's not only that job. It's just life in general. And I think that people, they don't realize and they don't think that, life can be tough, life can be hard. And PTSD, mental health. It's not just, just seeing bad things or just witnessing crimes or death or whatever. It could be just having a bad day and not talking about it. From me being in the fire service and stuff, I saw my share of bad things, but then I also helped people that had mental health problems. And, it just, it got to a point to where I, for my well-being and my family's well-being, that I stepped away, which my fiance is still, she's a 21-year veteran with the police department, and she's still going strong, but I had to step away and make a career change for
Well,
me.
I think what I hear you saying is we're all different in how we process things. And one thing you shared with me earlier was that you just kept it all in and you didn't talk about it. So talking about issues, getting help from the experts, and oftentimes, if needed, taking medications. And these were things you were trying to overcome alone. You weren't sharing, you weren't speaking out, you weren't telling people how you felt, because maybe sometimes you thought there was shame in there because you're just supposed to be a big, strong guy and figure out how to overcome it. But our brains are an organ just like anything else, and they need attention just like your heart does when it's unhealthy. Is
Correct.
that what you have come to realize, and how to get better and get on the other side?
Yeah, and it's the thing that I always like saying is your mind, your body, and stuff. It's like a bag, and you put the bag on your back, and you're carrying it with, you have the burdens of the world and all the emotions and happy, sad, this, that, the other. But you keep putting all these things in the bag, and the bag keeps getting, step by step, it's just filling up, it's filling up. And at some point, the stitching, your sanity, your everything just can't hold the bag together anymore. So whenever it explodes, you have a mental breakdown. And that's not just dangerous for you, but it's not healthy for your family. And that's another thing too, is and I try to be a advocate too, not only for the mental health, the people that are going through it, but the families, because not only are you taking your mental health issues out and they're, receiving that stuff, but that's, they're part of your support system. So they go through a lot. They're going through just as much as you are, just in a different way. It's just that holding in is just not good.
How did you get to the point where you knew for your well-being, you needed to make a change? You needed to find a different career path. Was there one particular incident? Was it just the combination? What did you decide to do differently to help yourself be a better you once you knew this is not working for me to be in this particular profession?
I probably knew, I just didn't want to admit it
Mhm.
years prior.
Yeah.
But within the last 2 years, my life is just, it's amazing. Now I'm engaged to my best friend and we talk about things, but I could tell that things were changing. She could tell that things were changing. And I think that a lot of times, especially your partners, your spouse, they see a different side of you. They notice things that you don't, because you're already in that whole mindset of this is how I am.
Right.
Whenever it's progressively getting worse. And probably about a year ago, there was just things going on personally that that just, it spiked and the bag busted. And luckily, I have a great support system, and I went and got help and
Sure.
stayed in a hospital for a week. And a lot of people they would try to hide it, this, that, and the other. I'm not going to try to hide it. I mean, it's
Well, that's part of the problem, is hiding it.
correct.
You get
Correct.
help when you hide it.
Correct. And we're not living in, our parents, our grandparents, great grandparents society. And that was how I was raised. You got to be tough. You don't take medicine. You power through it. And it's not like that anymore. I mean, there's no sense in putting yourself through that, putting your family through that. Whenever there are options, there are people you can talk to, there are groups you can join, there are things on the internet that you can go and look at. I mean, you can do anything you want to, and you don't have to tell anybody. I enjoy sharing my story because I hope that maybe somebody's having a bad day and they hear it. And I'm by no means a professional, but I just try to put it out there, and that like you said, you're not alone.
You're not alone. And I think the thing is when you share some of your story, when we become a little bit vulnerable, oftentimes with people that we don't even know, and we say, you're not alone. We've all felt some of these things, or I haven't felt them, but I genuinely care about you. And this is what you should maybe consider doing. Don't be scared or don't be ashamed to ask for help. It's okay. And when we say that to someone or show them that we've been there, you may save a life, or you may help them have a better life because they thought, oh, okay, that makes sense. I can do this now, or I'm not alone. So I admire you for sharing your story, because to look at you look at this big, burly, good looking guy who's got it all. I've been on The Voice, I'm a firefighter, but you are all of that, and you are a great guy, but you also are human, and we all have struggles, and you were willing to say that and to get help and to share your story today and every day, I'm sure, when you're out on the job, in hopes that you may help someone else. And in essence, you're still being a firefighter. You're still helping people, but just in a different way, right?
I didn't really think of it that way, because that was my biggest thing. I felt like invincible. You get on the fire truck, you got your gear, and I guess it's kind of the same thing.
It is. And now your gear is a paint brush and paint. So
Yeah.
That's a great transition to you started.
And it's therapeutic for me.
Right. So now you're Phoenix Paint and Furniture.
Mhm.
You've changed careers, and now you're just remodeling people's homes and making their homes better and brighter.
Yep. Bringing it back from the ashes.
Right. So tell me about Phoenix. Explain the name.
So whenever I had gotten out the fire service, I was all bummed and stuff. And my fiance Amber she was probably just tired of seeing me mope around. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do, this, that, and the other. And then she suggested, painting houses and stuff, because I love to paint. I guess I'm probably one of the few people that love to paint.
Yeah, you probably are.
Yeah, nobody likes to paint. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And then, she just kind of took the bull by the horn. She's been my champion. And she was like, all right, well, if you're just going to sit there, then I'm going to go ahead and get these steps together. So what's the name of the business? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, well, how about Phoenix Paint and Furniture, because you're rising from your ashes. I'm like, oh, that's a good one, babe. That's a good one.
Strong and powerful. Strong and powerful.
We're rising from the ashes.
Yeah, from old to new. So how long have you been in business, and how do people get in touch with you?
Phoenix Paint has been going now for 6 to 8 months. We have a Facebook page, wstone@phoenixpaint.net is the email that you can send for quotes.
Okay.
But the best way is really through the Facebook and doing the messenger, and we'll get back in touch with you. But we try to bring positivity to everybody's day, and make sure that people know that they're not alone, because you never know who you go and you paint a room for. You might not know what kind of day they're having. And if you're a ray of sunshine and their bad day, then you never know what that'll do for them in the long run.
Well, I just think it's beautiful how you are using all your opportunities now to talk to others. So as we close, you can either sing us out or give me some final thoughts, or you can do both, or just as we close, what do you want my audience to know as we close?
I I guess I wake up every day and I try to be as positive as I can, especially in the world that we live in. And I want to be a advocate for the mental health community. And it's mainly, you are not alone. Talk to somebody. And you got my business stuff. So if somebody needs to talk, like I said, I'm not a licensed professional, but I'll listen and I'll talk with you.
Well, I love that we've had this time together. I love your
And thank you
story.
again.
And I love that you're continuing to have your story grow in a way that will be fulfilling for you and will be helpful for others in so many ways with mental health, and with also painting things old and making them new again.
That's it.
And I'll have your Facebook information in today's description, Warren.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Listen, thank you. I appreciate your time today.